excited for today's Tuesday Talk Live with Seth Levin. Let me give you a little introduction to my colleague and friend. Seth Levin is an award-winning broker in the top 1% of real estate agents nationwide. 5 years ago, Seth joined Keller Williams with his team, the Levin Kong team, after nearly a decade and a half at another top Manhattan real estate firm. Since joining Keller Williams, New York City, their team has been top ranked, including multiple years at #1. Wow, that's super impressive. Seth is a member of the International Agent Leadership Council, a prominent member of the company's leadership luxury division, and is a featured panelist speaker and an often quoted real estate expert. So welcome, Seth. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Christine, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. You're a fantastic colleague and friend, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's dive deep into the New York City market. How is the market? I know, during COVID, there was you guys were kind of in lockdown, but now the market seems to be booming again. So talk to us about how it's going.
Yeah, no. So New York City has sort of gone through a lot in the last year and a half, as has everybody, but really New York City, more so, particularly with real estate. 2019 was actually the bottom of our market in New York. 2016 was the peak, started to fall through a little bit. 2017, 18, 19 was the bottom. 2020 was the beginning of 2020 was gangbusters. I thought it was going to be the best year in New York City real estate in the 2 decades that I've been involved.
Right.
Put together so many transactions, had so many people buying, selling. Around March 13th, obviously we hit the wall of the pandemic. All of the deals that weren't totally, tied up, tight.
Done, right.
We had 11 transactions fall apart in 1 day.
Oh my God.
We, thought that it was going to be a couple months. And then obviously we saw what happened, and we were essentially locked out of real estate until about August.
Oh my God.
So everybody's narrative was that everybody had left New York. People were selling in droves and leaving to the suburbs. However, most people need to sell their real estate in order to buy their next home.
Absolutely.
So the fact that we couldn't sell meant that most of the people that left New York and were buying outside of the city were either renters who left their small apartments that they were growing out of anyway.
Absolutely.
Inevitable moves. And they weren't going to be able to afford $1 million family-sized apartment in New York because it doesn't exist, the $1 million family-sized apartment, but they can get that in Connecticut, New Jersey, Westchester, Long Island. So the renters were the big migration. And then well-heeled New Yorkers, most of my clients, went to the Hamptons for second homes, where they rented or bought a second home in markets like yours.
Exactly. It's exactly what happened with my clients. Yeah.
Exactly. So we knew it wasn't forever. We knew that this was not going to be the death of New York. What we didn't expect was when we got, let out of real estate lockdown, that especially in Brooklyn right away, there were bidding wars. All the pent up demand from the weak market of 2019 and the pandemic of 2020 kind of came into the market at the same time. Brooklyn was bidding wars. Before you knew it, Brooklyn had price per square foot, transaction volume was similar to the high point of their market, which was 2017. Manhattan took a little bit longer to sort of come to fruition, to get back out of sort of the negative publicity. But the first people that started looking at Manhattan were high net worth individuals from around the country, either buying second homes or empty nesters selling at the peak in markets like yours.
Interesting. Right, absolutely.
At a bottom in New York. The bottom was short-lived, and it was the market was only about a 9% decrease in market value. So it wasn't falling off the cliff. That being said, I did negotiate a very, very high-end new development, which was a weak part of the market. New development, lots of inventory, they needed to sell. 28% off ask I was able to achieve for one of my out of international buyers.
Right.
So the first-time home buyers weren't really buying in mass because their offices were closed. a lot of them were living at their parents' places.
Right.
I've never seen so many mattresses on the street as I did, because renters, you know, or people that are moving to their new homes take their mattresses, but renters moving to their parents leave their mattresses on the street. I would walk
Oh, that's so funny.
I saw so many mattresses on the street. So it was really an exodus of the renters. The New Yorkers were at their second homes, and then they started rejiggering. So for instance, I had clients, they sold their 3-bedroom in Gramercy, bought a 3-bedroom on the Upper West Side, walking distance to Columbia Prep, so that they were closer to their kids' schools. The pandemic taught them they wanted to be closer to school.
Exactly.
Another couple that sold their 2-bedroom to move to a 4-bedroom because they were having a second child. So there was a lot of rejiggering within
Interesting.
So the story of New York, you know, not being active is actually not true, because pending contracts are up 135% year over year in Manhattan, and up 66% year over year in Brooklyn. And the reason it's only 66% year over year in Brooklyn is because a year ago it was already up 100% from the prior year. So it actually is
interesting. Wow, well, holy cow, who knew? That's amazing. So where are most of the buyers that you're working with coming from? Are they mostly international, or kind of a lot of those empty nesters like you were talking about?
I would say about 50% of my current active buyer clients are empty nesters moving back to the city or buying second homes.
Okay.
We also saw a lot of families from around the country buying a family home in New York with a child who's recently graduating college, getting a first job. So it's a lot of people that were looking at Manhattan because of the perceived discount.
Right.
And they're seeing that there is opportunity in certain markets. There certain segments are
absolutely
still opportunities. So all this activity, like for instance, the third quarter of this year, we saw the most transactions in the history of any quarter in the history of them keeping records of this in Manhattan.
Oh my gosh.
Instead, the prices haven't gotten back up to the peak of 2016.
Okay.
Better than the bottom of 2019, but not at the peak. So there's still a squeeze on inventory, but the prices haven't really shot up yet. So it's a great buying opportunity because we know the market is going to be, going up from here.
Absolutely. So what does $1 million buy you in Manhattan?
In some places it's a parking spot.
I love that.
But that's not necessarily, that's not most of the market. $1 million in Manhattan, let's say in West Village, which is a super hot neighborhood. I went to an open house the other day.
Exactly.
100 people waiting online outside to get it.
Oh my God.
Then you could have a listing in the financial district that has one showing every 1 month. So it's
absolutely
a lot of different markets, but $1 million in the West Village will get you a condo studio, a walk-up small 1-bedroom co-op on the Upper East and Upper West Side, which is where a lot of our empty nester clients, a lot of people from Connecticut and Westchester look at the Upper East and Upper West because of the convenience. A lot of those clients are looking at, sometimes a $1 million budget for a convertible to or large 1-bedroom co-op or a small 1-bedroom studio.
Okay.
Small 1-bedroom condo, sorry.
Yeah. And so what is the process if I have a client coming in, they want to purchase $1 million condo co-op? How are you guys seeing that delayed? Like, could they close, and let's say that this is not all cash, could they close in 45 or 60 days, or is it a longer process these days? Yeah,
it's buying in the city in general, unless you're buying a townhome, is a much more intricate process than buying a home anywhere else in the country. And I've bought homes outside of the city.
Right.
I was constantly surprised that when I made an offer, it was accepted. We were basically in contract. I can close in 30 days with financing. Here, that's not the case. For a condo, purchasing in cash, the fastest you can do is about 30 days. That's because the condo board, even though,
of course,
it's not an approval, there's still the basically the rubber stamp process for the condo.
right.
For a cash purchase with a co-op, the fastest I've seen is about 45 days.
Okay.
Is what should be expected with cash.
Right.
With financing for a condo, you're looking at close to 2 months.
Okay.
Financing with a co-op, usually about 2.5 months.
Interesting. Interesting.
You're going to see. So oftentimes, because my business is, about 40% of my business is agent referrals from around the country referring their clients to me.
Right.
Phone call, we'd like to purchase, we're financing, we need to be in November 15th.
Right.
Oh, it's October 12th. Thanks so much for reaching out.
Right.
Love to help you in the process, but the first thing I really need to explain to you is the timeline of the process here.
Exactly.
That doesn't work. Sometimes they become a renter in the short term.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. So are you seeing any buyers using Bitcoin? This subject keeps coming up and I'm fascinated by it. I was talking to somebody, I think Catherine from Miami, and she had just had, or Miami had just had a purchase for $24 million, all with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Do you see any of that in New York City?
Yes, but because of the restrictive nature of our co-ops and condos, it's different than buying a single family home. So we're not actually seeing the transactions happening with crypto, but I am seeing so many young sub 30-year-old individuals that have made millions of dollars in cryptocurrency coming into our market now. For instance, I had a $1.2 million approximate co-op in Gramercy, and the buyer did not have a job. And this was a co-op, did not have a traditional job, but made a ton of money in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to the agent and I said, there's a good chance this gets turned down by the co-op board.
Right.
We should have this conversation up front. Decided not to purchase a co-op, went on and purchased a condo. But we do have a lot of people's net worth, because we're seeing their net worth, their financial statements for the condo and co-op. A lot of people's net worth is very heavily tied to cryptocurrency right now. So we're not transacting in crypto, but maybe because of crypto.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Interesting. So it's a whole fascinating other topic. And what current listings do you have that are fun and exciting? I mean, I'm sure they all are, but mention one or two to the people who are thinking about purchasing in New York. Okay.
So I will mention 3 properties that are very good for people that come from out of the city.
Great.
I have a 2-bedroom triplex actually on 10th and University. So in the heart of Greenwich Village, one of the best neighborhoods in the city.
Oh, great.
Right around 1.6 million, which is 2-bedroom in Greenwich Village is pretty much a steal.
Right.
It's a co-op that allows parents to buy 4 children with children and allows second home purchases. So it's great for somebody in a market like yours. I recently listed, and we showed for the first time on Sunday, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,250 square foot condo on the Williamsburg, Brooklyn waterfront in a building that has a basketball court, a pool, a spa, a gym, multiple outdoor spaces, a full staff. And right outside the front door of this building is the ferry that takes you to Manhattan in less than 15 minutes.
Wow.
So we were talking about neighborhoods that were hot, like the West Village, Williamsburg, and other blue chip neighborhoods in Brooklyn are on fire. We're expecting probably to have a multiple bidding situation in the first week on the market. And then I have a 3-bedroom condo, and that one's priced at 1.8 million, the one we were just talking about. And I have a 3-bedroom condo in Chelsea that is 2.35 million, and it's 2,100 square feet. The view is slightly obscured, which is why it's 2.35 as opposed to about 4 million. So it's a great opportunity for somebody to buy a palatial 3-bedroom, 3-bath home in a prime neighborhood. And I always say Manhattan is a city of trade-offs. If you want an ice skating rink apartment at 2.35 million. It's a fantastic opportunity.
Wow, that's great. And how can people get in touch with you?
I am old school, so I really love the phone. 917-599-7572 is my phone number.
Perfect.
Email is Seth@Levin, Levin, Kong, KONG.com. You can find our team on Instagram and Facebook at Levin Kong Team. And our website is levinkongteam.com. And you could pretty much find me anywhere because I'm a real estate agent and my information is very much public and out there. So
exactly. And anybody can get in touch with me and I'll send them all your information as well. Well, this has been a pleasure. I so appreciate it. I learned so much about the real estate market, so it's great. And I hopefully will be sending some Connecticut clients your way.
No, that sounds great. And thank you so much again for having me. And it's always wonderful to see you and to talk to you.
You as well. Awesome. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.